Ciao everyone, it's Marchettino and today we're off for a special mission with the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. How can you not love the style and the elegance of Aston Martins? I mean, this car is just like a fine bottle of wine. With the time, it can only get better. And well, I need to say thank you to Luzago for lending me the gorgeous V8 Vantage for today's test drive. In the video description below you find the link to their website. When I bought my BMW M3, I was tempted to go for a V8 Vantage because this car is so gorgeous, so timeless. Wherever you look at it, you struggle to find some parts that you can define ugly. And just think about it, this car was launched on the market in 2005. This design is 16 years old, yet so current, so fresh. This car is simply amazing. And just look at the configuration. White pearl, with grey wheels and a fantastic red interior. So in the front we find 19-inch wheels with Brembo steel brakes, 355mm discs in the front, and in the back still 19-inch but 330mm discs. So guys, just like the name says, here's the V8 of the V8 Vantage. It's a 4.3 liter net aspirated. Here it unleashes 385 brake horsepower and 410 Nm of torque available at 5000 RPMs. The soft roof is down, so you are already looking at the interior, but now let's open the door to give you a better view. Oh, and by the way, just look at the opening mechanism of the door. Can you see that the door is actually raised a little bit? Aston Martin has designed this in order to let the driver and the co-driver get in and get out of the car without touching the door with the legs. This is smart. So, might of you might recognize this key because this is literally the same key you find on Volvo cars, yeah. The fact is that when Aston Martin launched this car, the company was owned by Ford, and in that time Ford owned also Volvo. So here actually we find some components coming from Volvo, like the central dash. Just look at this sat-nav. This is literally the same navigation system of Volvo cars. But still, even though there's some Volvo components inside this car, well, mostly plastic parts, I'm in love with the interior because the same as the exterior, here we have a timeless design, and honestly, wherever I look and touch, I can truly feel some very good build quality and good materials. As you can see, we have two pedals behind the steering wheel. So here we have the Sport Shift, which is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Also, if you want to engage reverse, neutral or drive, we have the buttons here. Same as the startup. I have no idea who the bloody designed this space for the key, but as you can see, there's no space. Every time it's so annoying to turn the key, but then once you start up the engine, you forget everything. And now guys, let's start our mission with the Aston. Off we go! It's a shame we don't get to see many Aston Martins around Italy, which is actually a good thing if you want to buy a second-hand one, which means that you actually have an exclusive car you don't really get to see very often, so people are very curious. And just look at it, this car doesn't get old. And today I want to see if it's been a good choice to buy an M3 rather than a V8 Vantage back in the days. This is not a pure sports car. First, it's a GT, it's a Grand Tour, so it's a car designed to offer performance but also the maximum comfort and usability. So now we're driving in comfort mode, set also on automatic gear change, and it's pleasant to drive. And being in comfort mode, the throttle is very smooth, same as the engine, which is very delicate, but still, if you smash the foot on the throttle, that The gearbox actually took a while to shift down, even in comfort mode. The gearbox take it very easy. Now we're approaching a very good winding road, so let's switch to sport mode, manual gear change, and let's see what the V8 Vantage is capable in terms of performance. So I think I will buy one immediately just by the static and the exhaust note. This 4.3 liter sounds bloody amazing. Guys in the motorbikes were happy. So guys, if you want to accelerate to 100 kilometers per hour, your ears will say thank you for exactly 5 seconds. If you want to drive to the top speed with the roof down, the wind in your hair, you can hit 280 kilometers per hour. So even for today's standards, this sports car is able to offer quite good performance. But this is not just about the performance. It's about enjoying the cruise with a shivering soundtrack to enjoy all the time. You understand that this car is not designed to give its best in the corners when you think about the car width, because it's not light. We're talking about 1,710 kilos. It's heavy. And you can feel it through the steering wheel, especially on the front end, because most of the weight is in front, and when you start to turn in, you feel like you're moving a heavy front. And I think that also, given the weight, this car is not that performing below 4,000 RPMs. This engine is big, it's 4.3 liter. I am used to my previous M3 E92 with the 4 liter V8, and that engine was way more brilliant, especially below 4,000. So if you want to feel the real power, the real potential, you always have to keep it between 4 to 7,000 RPMs. Sure about the gearbox as well, because with the sport shift, if you keep it in auto, the way the ECU of the transmission works, I think it's not that good. And even the gear changes, I think they're not that fluid, especially if you keep it in sport mode. This transmission is quite rough and brutal. I mean, just look at this. It's like a giant slap in your face, and this, being a Grand Tourer, I'm not sure the average Aston Martin driver will like a transmission like this. I like it. It's not like the modern double clutches that are way too soft, and for being more than a decade old, you can feel that it's not the quickest transmission ever. So you always have to keep it close to the red line if you want to experience the fastest gear change. And talking about the brakes, I think they're big, they're powerful, but not enough for this car. Because when you start to push around these corners and you brake and brake and brake, you start to feel the fading, because these brakes has to stop a quite heavy car. The problem is that this soundtrack truly gives an addiction. You want to redline this engine all the time. It's a great thing that the current Vantage has an AMG derived V8 engine, so there's still pretty good sounding Aston Martins in today's lineup. I'm quite worried about the future with the downsizing
the exhaust note plays a very important role in a sports car, and this, even though it's not the best sports car in the world, I have to admit that I really enjoy to drive it and have fun with it. I think the 4.3, which is actually the cheapest Vantage you can find on the market, I think this car is a bargain. You have to see the whole package, not just the performance, because if you buy this car just for the performance, maybe you will be slightly disappointed. If you think about the performance, the look, the timeless design this car has, the shivering soundtrack, and the comfort this car is capable to offer, I think a second-hand Aston Martin V8 Vantage is a great car to buy. Maybe I will go for the 6-speed manual, also because it's more reliable than the sport shift. With the sport shift, you have to be very careful when you drive in the traffic, otherwise the clutch is not gonna last very much. And I think that driving a car like this on the coast, maybe on summertime, with your girlfriend sitting next to you, well, this is a quite priceless driving experience. I don't think that on the market, especially on the second-hand market, there are cars that are able to offer this whole package like the Aston Martin. I'm in love with the look of this car, it's timeless. Same as the soundtrack. I think that the more time goes on, the more manufacturers tend to make cars that look boring, sound weak. People will start to appreciate this car. I think so. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Ciao!